Hi there, it's Debbie from celestialastrologyhealing.co.uk, and today I'd like to talk about the new moon in Virgo on the 3rd of September 2024 at 2:55 a.m. That's British summer time, so you'd have to adapt for your time zone wherever you are in the world. If you are west of the UK, obviously this will be happening later on the 2nd of September. So this new moon will be conjunct where the sun and the moon are both at 11 degrees Virgo, 4 minutes. And I'd like to give you some insight into Virgo, the maiden who brings in the crops and the harvest. So in this video, I'll share a few images, show you a chart of the heavens and talk about the planetary weather, which I probably won't repeat as I go into the delineations later on for all signs of the zodiac. So welcome to my channel if you're new here, and also welcome back to subscribers that watch me and support me. I really appreciate your presence, and if you are able to leave a comment below, like and subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. Press the notification bell if you'd like to hear more of my videos. I only usually do a couple a month at this stage because I have a very busy life and many different hats that I wear, but astrology is a passion of mine, and I love to share personal birth charts. So also look below in the comments if you're interested in a personal reading with me, where we can look into the heavens, look at what's happening in the planetary activity that may be activating different areas of your life, dependent on what houses are being activated by the planets and the eclipses, etc. So thanks again. And now let me just start by sharing a chart. Actually, not a good chart. I'd like to share some images of Virgo. So thank you for bearing with me. So first of all, I love this image here, just showing the power of the rays coming out from this symbol of Virgo, which is in the middle here, the glyph of Virgo. It looks a bit like an M with a curly bit. And Virgo is a sign which is a yin mutable sign of the zodiac. It's an earth sign symbolized by the maiden who brings in the harvest. And it really is about tuning into ourselves, our own holistic health, our own well-being, our connection to the earth and to the changing of the seasons, and thinking about what we are harvesting at this time, because we're just passing the Lammas season and we're edging towards the autumn equinox. So this is a beautiful image of Virgo, the maiden, who is in the wheat fields, and she's known to be very discerning, have high standards, be aware of the best standards and qualities of things. She's meticulous and detail orientated, methodical, earthy, practical. She loves to have a sense of productivity and being of service to others. And she also is good for clearing away what's not needed in a way of being organized. Other key words for Virgo is analytical, as Virgos have a very keen eye for detail and enjoy breaking down things logically into smaller compartments and compartmentalizing things and organizing things in a really methodical way, which is very practical and makes things run in a really smooth way when it's all in flow. There's an intelligence as well, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, this earth sign, feminine yin earth sign, as well as being the ruler of Gemini, the mutable air sign. So there's an intelligence, there's a mental capacity of being quite clever, you know, and really diligent as well. Virgos, when we move from the sign of Leo into Virgo, Virgos are much more introverted, because it's that yin energy, it's that earth, which is more receptive and it's slower. It's not a fire outward energy. So there can be a sort of calm, contemplative approach to Virgos. And, you know, they can be a little bit more reserved, perhaps, than typically a Leo who is fiery and outgoing. And we've just moved from that Leo season. And also, you know, there's helpfulness, wanting to be of service, thriving on assisting others, very conscientious, having that sense of duties and performing diligently. As I was saying, organization, being quite modest, you know, quite humble is also one of the Virgoan traits. And Also, let me just get my notes, quite efficient as well. And the shadow side of Virgo, all signs have a shadow side, is one of being highly critical and always wanting to improve and always setting the bar higher, never being quite satisfied, because there's a sense of that can be critical of others and also self-critical, rather than being happy with what you've achieved or where you've come to, and, you know, celebrating the benefits and positive steps. So there's that critical nature, being hypercritical. And sometimes when we look into the minutiae, which is what Virgo can do, there can be this over anxiousness of looking at all the details of things, which can cause worry and, you know, that sense of it's depleting. So just to have that awareness that that's something that Virgo can actually represent. And she is known to discard the chaff from the wheat. She knows what's good. So this is a symbolic time of thinking about what we can discard, what no longer serves us, you know, and what we can harvest in our lives, and having a sense of gratitude for what we've done since the spring equinox at the new astrological year, when it's cardinal fire at Aries. And now we've come past Lammas, the first harvest here in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's like, what have we harvested in our lives? What can we let go of? And how can we move forward? So that's just some of the images I'd like to share for Virgo. And what I'm going to do in this video is now point out some of the astrological planetary placements for this new moon in Virgo, and then I'll go into some short delineations. So I encourage you to listen to this part, because I probably won't be repeating all the planetary placements again. And then you can just choose the timestamps to just scroll along to either your ascendant sign, if you know your time of birth, which can represent you and how you show up in the world. It's all about you being in control at the helm of the ship. Or you can look for your sun sign, which is about your sense of spirit and your ambition and your drive, sometimes related to our father figures. Or you can listen in for your moon sign, which is more about your emotional, reactionary inner landscape, related to your feelings of security, safety, home, and can be related to your mother. So that's what I'm planning to do. So I encourage you to listen in here, and then scroll along to the sign of the zodiac. Again, please press like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, which helps the algorithm. I also have this thing which not many people have used yet, but you can buy me a coffee, tea, snack, whatever, if you appreciate my free astrological readings and you can't quite afford a chart reading, but I am very well priced at this stage. Before I go into the chart of the new moon in Virgo, I'd like to say that this is a dark part of the lunar cycle before there's a crescent moon building. So it's a good time for using intentions to think about what we can put in place to bring to fruition for the future. So short-term plans may be manifested by the next full moon, which happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse on the what date is it? Well, it's in 2 weeks' time, sorry. And that's going to start off a new set of eclipses. But at the moment, we're still going through the Aries and Libra eclipses until the 25th of March, 2025. But there is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, which begins a new cycle of things. And particularly if you're one of the mutable signs, so that would be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, this is going to be very dynamic for you over the next couple of years when these eclipse axes shift from Aries. They always go backwards with the lunar nodes, and they go into Pisces and into Virgo, so from Libra. So certainly you can think about that for the future. And basically, if you've got any planets between 8 degrees, we'll go 3 degree orb either side of the 11 degree Virgo new moon, 8 degrees and 14 degrees of the mutable signs, you may find this particular new moon more significant, because it will be coinciding by a conjunction to your planets in these mutable signs, or it could be a square, which is a really challenging aspect, or it can be an opposition. So just to bear that in mind, or if you've got any other planets in these mutable signs, it doesn't have to be your sun or your moon. So thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, and again, thinking about manifesting things that are really good for your own health. That's really important at this time for Virgo, because it's really about your holistic health and your well-being, and what you can get rid of and cut away and declutter and tidy and organize, or start new health regimes. Things like that are really significant for us all. And we've all got Virgo somewhere in our natal charts. So I am a Western astrologer using the tropical zodiac and the whole sign house system. And my pleasure is to work on personal charts with people and really help you recognize your skills and your challenges in life, so that you're able to walk your path with more awareness and consciousness, to step into your power and be aware of what's going on in the heavens, so that you can navigate life's ebbs and flows. So contact me below for a reading if you're interested in that. And also, I usually put free data there with astro.com, where you can cast your own chart. If you know your date, place and time of birth, then you can cast your own chart using free data, and you can play around yourself. But for astrologers that can give you professional readings, it's taken many years of study. I've studied modern astrology decades ago, and I used to cast charts by hand before computers. And then I studied with nightlight astrology. So I've recently studied ancient astrology using Hellenistic techniques, time lords, annual perfections, etc. So it's such a great tool for self-understanding and for understanding others, and having that sense of mutual respect and just walking in your power. So that is my passion, to share birth chart readings with you. So have a look in the comments below if that at all resonates with you. And now I'd like to share the chart of the new moon in Virgo. So the new moon in Virgo, we have the sun and the moon conjoined at the same degree. Let me get my tools here, my annotate tools. So you can see that the sun and the moon are at 11 degrees Virgo, 4 minutes. So that happens at every new moon. The sun and the moon are conjoined in the heavens, or conjunct. And you usually get only one new moon every sign of the zodiac each year. Sometimes you get the blue moon, the full moon, where you get 2 in a lunar month cycle. So Virgo, I've described all those energies. And if you do work with intention of planting seeds of what you'd like to bring to fruition, there is a full moon in Virgo on the 14th of March 2025. So that's 6 months later, when your longer term plans may come to some fruition, some culmination point, or some visibility, because a lot of things that we work on in our lives, they don't happen immediately, but certainly shorter term tasks may come to fruition if you have a massive clear out and declutter and let go of things and pass on things, or shift your mindset and work on a new health regime. Perhaps you can maybe see the fruition starting in a couple of weeks' time at the next full moon Pisces lunar eclipse. So what else have we got on in the heavens? Most of the most distant planets, transpersonal planets, are actually retrograde at the moment. So we've got Pluto here at 29 degrees, Capricorn, 58 minutes, retrograde. So this is called the anaretic degree. Pluto is about to go back into Capricorn. Oh, he is in Capricorn here at the, oh, sorry. Yeah, I've been talking about Pluto going retrograde for so long now that I didn't realize at the time of this recording, he's already, well, by the time the new moon's happening, you get my sheets. He went back yesterday. If you're listening on the day of the new moon on the 3rd, Pluto goes back into Capricorn on the 2nd. So basically the day before, Pluto's just gone back. So he's at the anaretic degree of Capricorn, and he'll be staying here until the 19th of November, allowing us to tie up all of the issues related to wherever the Capricorn house is in our personal birth charts. And because Pluto takes 248 years to go around the whole zodiac, this is the very last opportunity to face any straggly ends. Pluto's about power, control, digging deep, facing the shadows, truths coming up that have been suppressed. All of these things may be possible. And when planets are at the anaretic degree, it can be quite a tense area of the chart. Any planets in your natal chart are at 29 degrees. It's also quite a focal point. It's called the critical degree. It's almost like the planet's striving to get to the next sign, but isn't quite there yet. So it can add some tension and stress and irritation. So Pluto is there. He's the furthest distant planet of the solar system that we're aware of at this time that we use in astrology, one of the modern day planets discovered in the 30s. Hades, god of the underworld. Neptune, Poseidon, he or she, no, I suppose it's a he, is also at the anaretic degree, 29 degrees Pisces retrograde. So the Piscean house of your birth chart, wherever that is for you, I'm using the whole sign house system, that will be another critical area of your chart. So there's another tension, more tension and stress here, but it's also like retrograde, waves going back, revealing what's left. So Neptune stationed retrograde on the 2nd of July 2024 at 29 degrees 55 minutes. Now you can see Neptune's at 29 degrees, lost the 55 minutes, and will go direct on the 7th of December, stationing direct at 27 degrees 7 minutes. That's how slow Neptune moves. So again, you know, it's highly sensitive, this sign, the Piscean sign of the collective, the oceans, compassion, tuning into higher realms and spirituality and having faith and great imagination, and sensitivity, romanticism. You know, sometimes Neptune is about wearing rose-tinted glasses and having such high aspirations that we can be clouded. It can be foggy weather that really is hard to navigate sometimes. So Neptune can bring some cloudiness around as well. And I'm not going to include Uranus at 27 degrees Taurus because Uranus is retrograde, but not at the anaretic degree, because he would need to be moving direct, and he's moving retrograde. So another outer planet here, Uranus, who can bring the curved ball, shock, destabilize, be surprising, break free, liberate, awaken us, basically crumble old structures, and Taurus, which is, you know, wanting to be solid and stable and keep things the same. Uranus has been throwing a curved ball into that area of life for some time now, since the 15th of May 2018. Uranus has been in Taurus. Uranus stationed retrograde on basically the 1st of September, so just stationed retrograde at 27 degrees 4 minutes in Taurus, and will be retrograde until the 29th of April 2025. So, you know, more energies going back, looking back over topics related to that Taurian house in your chart. So those are the main, well, actually, and we've got Saturn here, which is also retrograde, not at the anaretic degree, you'll be pleased to hear, but at 16 degrees 25 minutes. So Saturn stationed retrograde on the 29th, 30th of June, and will station direct on the 15th or 16th of November. So that's shortly after Pluto moves back into Aquarius for 20 years. Saturn would be moving direct as well. So Saturn's halfway through Pisces. So wherever that Pisces house is in your chart, you know, you've got that Neptune co-presence and Saturn, the reality checker, wanting to bring things into some sort of sense of containment or practicality or limitation or learning to say no, alongside that compassionate energy of Neptune. So those are the outer planets. And they are all retrograde. And then Mars, which isn't an outer planet, it's more of a personal planet. Mars is actually very fast moving. Mars has recently been conjoined with Jupiter and Gemini, with much stimulation of the mind, you know, restless ideas, many ideas, lots of tasks of spinning plates and just maybe communications or lots of short journeys, maybe slightly overwhelming. But Mars, in about an hour or so after this new moon, will also be at the anaretic degree of 29 degrees of Gemini. So, you know, there's quite a few planets that are at that anaretic degree. So that can add a little bit of stress to the energies and to the ether. So it's important for us to sort of be discerning and just decide what are we going to allow to come in to affect us, because we have our own sense of center. And it's really important during that Virgo time to really look after ourselves and our holistic health. So that's our whole well-being, our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, and our spiritual well-being. And we have that capacity to tune in to knowing what's right for us and to try and filter out whatever's coming in. For example, if you watch the news or lots of media things, you know, sometimes there's other agendas there and there may not be real truths, and it can be very disempowering to hear a lot of negativity. So it's really about discerning what's your reality. If you can come into your own center and be strong and come from a place of love, light, peace, and sending out that radiance, we can all create this web across the world, connecting with others, like-minded spirit souls in this human body, and we can make shifts on an energetic level, and that can help us for the future. So yeah, that's just something. Otherwise, that sort of Virgoan energy of worry and anxiety can be all encompassing if you allow yourself to feel affected and feel helpless, because we always have our own will and our love and our light to share out, which can be a positive energy to express and share with others. And it can create your own reality in your own world, in your own community, in your family. And that sends out energy, and that can tip the balance of all the negative things that we're constantly bombarded with. Personally, I don't listen to the news. If you listen to Pam Gregory, an astrologer, she's very wise, she's very spiritual, and she basically said years ago, yeah, I don't listen to the news. And actually I thought, oh, yeah, that's a great idea, because you switch the news on and it just makes you feel so weak and unable to do things, but actually you create your own reality. So that's, for me, everybody has their own choice, but that's just my take on it. Anyway, on a wee positive note, we have Venus recently moved into Libra. So she rules Libra. So topics around your own interactions with others. Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and harmony, union, peace. She's wanting to come together and unify in a calm and peace-loving, unifying way of love and respect, not wanting to upset. She is also conjoined with Ketu, the south node of the moon, though, within a 2-degree orb. So Ketu, or the south node, there is a sense of letting go, of release, relinquishing, sometimes a sense of diminishment as well. So wherever that Libran house is for you in your chart, there may be some shifts here of recognizing what you don't need, and you can surrender and just release that too. So I think that is about, well, actually also there's Mercury. Mercury has been retrograde recently. Mercury is the ruler of this lunation because Mercury rules Virgo. So she's now moving direct, or he's now moving direct. He can be either or. He's androgynous, but because he's in the fiery sign of Leo at the moment, so we could think of him as a he. And when Mercury moves back into Virgo, we could think more of Mercury as being a she, because Virgo is an earth sign, which is more yin energy. And we've all got the masculine and feminine within us. So Mercury will go back into Virgo on the 9th of September. And when, you know, there's been a retrogradation in the Leo house for us. And since the 28th of August at 21 degrees, Mercury started moving forward in the heavens, will re-enter Virgo, which is the temple that he rules or she rules. And there may be a sense of being able to move forward with your ideas and plans, travel plans, sign documents, think about studies, interacting with others, selling things, especially after the 11th of September, when Mercury would move past the 4-degree point in Virgo, the post-shadow period. So that's something else going on in the heavens. So for now, I'd like to start with the Aries sign of the zodiac for short delineations, and you can scroll along, as I was saying, for your sun, your moon, and your ascendant. See what resonates with you, leave a comment below. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, thanks for listening. And if you're enjoying my astrological sharings, please press the subscribe button if you haven't. And the like, you know, I sometimes listen to channels and actually I forget to like, but if you like, it really can help the channel grow. So thank you for doing that. So I'm starting with Aries. Aries ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. As we can see, we've got this new moon at 11 degrees 4 minutes here in Virgo, and this is your 6th house of Virgo. So this would suggest, Aries, that you've got an opportunity here to think about your daily life, your sense of service to others, work maybe, or related to your own health as well. And what you may like to change, what you may like to discard, what you may like to improve here with this Leo moon, with this Virgo moon, giving you an opportunity to bring things to fruition over the next 6 months, coming to a culmination point in the 14th of March 2025, which is when there's a full moon in Virgo. And also we have your ruler Mars is in the 3rd house here at 28 degrees Gemini. So lots of activity in the mind would have been going on for you while Mars has been skitting through Gemini and recently conjoined with Jupiter. But Mars will soon be moving into Cancer, which is the sign of Mars's fall, as in the opposite to exaltation. The fall is the opposite. So when Mars is in Cancer, there's going to be some maybe emotional energies, highly emotional energies around home, family topics for you, because Mars can be quite volatile, mother bear, protective energy, but emotions run high with Mars in Cancer there. So just be aware of that. And where is Mercury? Mercury has been retrograding back through Leo, is at 23 degrees and will be moving into your 6th house again, reinforcing these topics of your work life, your everyday duties, self-sacrifice, and what you do for others, and also physical health. So you'll be able to maybe move forward with any ideas that you've been reflecting upon, which may have been quite creative with Mercury in Leo here, because Leo is a very vibrant, sunny, creative, generous sign of the zodiac, and this is Mercury and Venus's joy. So you maybe have been reflecting back on the pleasures in life, maybe about love, creativity, romance, children, pregnancy. And when Mercury moves into Virgo, Mercury will be back into the temple that Mercury rules, and Mercury will be able to help you move forward with ideas that you may have been reflecting upon, especially after the 11th of September, when Mercury will be past the post-shadow period. You've also got Venus, I see, in Leo here, sorry, not Leo, but Libra, in your 7th house. So there's something around your close and personal relationships which are being given potential for harmony and union and coming together. However, Venus is also conjoined with Ketu, the south node of the moon. So there's a sense of relinquishing control, letting go and surrendering and releasing something there. So whether you're in a close relationship or whether that's to do with your clientele and your customers, I don't know. But anyway, if any of that resonates with you, let me know in the comments below. And thank you for listening, Aries. I'm trying to keep this short because I tend to go into too many details and it just never stops, and there's 12 signs to go through. And this is the end of my working day here at Centaur Design. So thank you for listening to me, and let me move the chart on now to Taurus. So welcome, Taurus. This is your new moon in Virgo interpretation, which you can see is happening in your 5th house, which is the house of Venus's joy, where the sun and the moon are both conjunct at 11 degrees Virgo 4 minutes. So new moons can or a period of time that allows something new to begin that can unfold over the next 6 months, perhaps come into fruition on the 14th of March 2025, when there is a full moon in Virgo 6 months later. So any ideas, any new ideas, intentions, seeds of intention, ideas that you'd like to grow, these can be related to new relationships in your love field, new creative projects, or if you have children, they may be related to children or pregnancy. So this is something that's quite dynamic for you at this new moon. It might be about improving some of the situations around those topics as well, because Mercury always wants to discard the chaff and the wheat, just keep the wheat, know what's not good, know what needs to be let go of, tidied away, more focused, more organized, more productive, those sort of ideas. And Mercury has been retrograde in Leo. And so you may have been reflecting on topics around home and family, this fourth house of Leo here. During the Mercury retrograde period, Mercury is now moving forward, having station direct on the 28th of August at 21 degrees, and will move back into Virgo, the house of your pleasures and children and creativity, on the 9th of September. But I would wait until after the 11th of September, a couple of days later. That's when Mercury will be past the post-shadow period of 4 degrees. And then you can maybe implement these new ideas and new plans related to these topics that we've just discussed, your fifth house topics here. Your ruler, Venus, is, where are you, Venus? She's in Libra. And yeah, there she is in the 6th house here in Libra, conjunction with the south node of the moon coming towards Venus, and Venus moving towards the south node of the moon. This is in your house of your everyday work and service. It can be related to your health. So there's a thing about wanting to be in harmony and avoiding conflict in your daily life. And it could be in work field, and it maybe can be related to your sense of your own health as well. Something about trying to smooth some regimes to make them flow better, but with a sense of realizing there's something that you've just got to let go of. So maybe there's something that, is diminished with that sense of Ketu, release, surrendering, trusting, letting go of something in your everyday life there. So I think that's all I want to say to you, Taurus. So certainly, topics of home and children and work life are highlighted for you. Thanks for listening. Moving on now, I can get the right mouse tool. Moving on to Gemini. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to this new moon in Virgo, short interpretation. For you, you are one of the mutable signs of the zodiac. So this is in one of the angles of the charts for you. When you have any planets or activity going on in the 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, and 10th house, which you do, it certainly brings more dynamic energies. And this is also going to be where the eclipses will be shifting and beginning. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have the first full moon lunar eclipse at the end of Pisces. I think it's 25 degrees Pisces, so quite close to Neptune. But this new moon is happening in your 4th house of home and family. So there is a sense of maybe some home improvements, tidying away, decluttering, creating new space, and improving something within your home environment that can come to fruition by working through some methodical decluttering processes. And certainly long term, there could be some shifts that come around the 14th of March 2025. Perhaps there's going to be something new around your home environment, or maybe who lives at home with you. Some energies such as that might be coming to fruition. And obviously, Virgo in your 4th house is opposite Pisces in your 10th house of public status and what you're seen to do. And that's going to be where there's going to be the first Pisces full moon eclipse in the 10th house there. So that may be affecting something around your career life or your social status. So Mercury, your ruler, is currently in the 3rd house of Leo, having gone retrograde. So reflections around your daily life, maybe looking at your sibling relationship if you have family, siblings, aunts, uncles. It could also be to do with your local environment and communicating and how you interact with others in your neighborhood. And Mercury will be shortly moving back into Virgo, and then on the 9th of September, which will give Mercury more energy and abilities to use those discerning Virgoan natures, being more productive, really being able to use your energy well to the mind and ideas and tidying and organization. That's really going to be something that you can do, especially after the 11th of September, after Mercury moves past 4 degrees where he's stationed before going retrograde. So I think that's about all I want to say for you, Gemini. I hope that's helpful. Certainly you've still got dynamic energies going on with Jupiter in your 1st house, and Mars is still there. I suppose when Mars does move into the 2nd house of Cancer, you know, that might be a tricky time around your sense of skills and finances and security, because Mars will be in full, but Mars has certainly been firing you up, lots of ideas, lots of, you know, extra energetic, perhaps sometimes loud and quite maybe verging on sort of aggressive energies could be coming across with Mars and Gemini, sometimes just like firing up all your ideas and coming across quite strongly there. So there are topics for you here to face with these dynamic energies happening for you across those 4th house axes, 10th house and 1st house axes there. So let me know if any of that resonates with you, Gemini, and thank you very much for listening. Moving on now to Cancer. Hi, Cancer, ascendant, sun or moons. This new moon in Virgo is happening in your 3rd house of daily life and communications. So there's something around being discerning, thinking about what you may like to do, thinking about how you can apply your energies and your meticulous skills that you can share with others in your local environment. Virgo is, you know, analytical, perfectionist, loves to be of service. So you're going to maybe have lots of ideas, especially as Mercury has been in this 2nd house related to your skills and finances and sense of security, when he's been going retrograde in your 2nd house of Leo. And Mercury will be going back into the temple that he rules, into this Virgoan house here on the 9th of September, and certainly after the 11th of September. All the ideas that you maybe been reviewing and rethinking and, you know, trying to improve, you maybe can put them into action and implement them to create these new ideas that you can bring to fruition over this new moon in Virgo period that may come to fruition 6 months later on the 14th of March 2025. Certainly the moon is your ruler, so the moon is in Virgo at this time. So it's important to be able to, you know, try to focus on not just the minute details and the you know, get too pernickety about things, because, you know, we can be hypercritical sometimes with these Virgoan energies, and maybe that can be focused in on yourself, and maybe you're not giving yourself a chance to actually say, actually, no, I am actually good at this. I am able to teach people. I am able to share my ideas. You know, I don't know how that resonates for you, but it depends on your particular skills. But certainly this is the house of goddess, related to friendship groups as well. Sometimes it's the house of the Hermetic. In ancient astrology, it's to do with the Hermetic that worked alone behind the scenes with mystical topics and things like that. So that's certainly going on for you. Be careful, I would say, just a little word of warning, because when Mars moves soon into Cancer, he is going to be in fall, which is the opposite to exaltation, so in a place of weakness. So you may feel more emotional, more volatile, and also Mars in the first house can sometimes bring in the potential to have more accidents. So just more inflammation, more accidents, you know, drive a bit more carefully, watch what you do and protect yourself a little bit there. Not to fearmonger, but just to give you that awareness. When Mars comes into the first house, it can cause inflammation, irritation, hyper emotions, because Mars in Cancer can be the mother bear, protective energy, but feeling really sort of fired up and very sensitive. And Mars in the first house can sometimes indicate more accidents. So just watch out for that, Cancerians. I'm sure you'll be fine if you have an awareness there. And I hope that's helpful for you. Thank you for listening. So Leo, welcome Leo to your new moon in Virgo chart here, which we can see is happening in the second house, which is related to your skills, your finances, your own abilities, your own resources, and a sense of how you can create security here. So this gives you an opportunity to maybe think about how you can start new projects to develop these skills, which can enhance your own self-sufficiency perhaps in the future. And certainly 6 months later, on the 14th of March, there will be a full moon in Virgo when these topics, these ideas, if you work intentionally to try to create something that can bring to fruition, the 14th of March, 2025, maybe when this happens for you. So your sun is in Virgo here. The sun is a ruler of you, conjoined with the moon. So this is blending together of these earthy energies, practicality, perfectionism, analytical energies, focusing on what you can get rid of, what you can discard, all of these things, what can be improved, what can you declutter. So just working in small steps to make big changes that can come to you in the future. And Mercury has been retrograde in your first house here. So, you know, maybe how you show up in the world, you've been thinking about your identity, perhaps, Leos, because this time of reflection with Mercury. In Mercury's joy, this is the helm of the ship, the joy of Mercury. There's a time of reflection because all Leo energy, you know, you've got a lot to offer. You've got a lot of unique energies that you can shine out and radiate. And then Mercury will be moving into Virgo again, moving back in on the 9th of September, back into the house that he rules, the temple that he rules. So any ideas that you've got around your skill set or finances, you should be able to implement them and start putting them into practice using all this intelligent energy of Mercury grounded down in a productive way in Virgo. And certainly after the 11th of September, you may be able to move forward. There may be some more results coming, more clarity around communications after the 11th of September, when Mercury moves past the 4-degree post-shadow period. So I hope that's helpful for you, Leos. Let me know if any of that makes any sense or rings true for you in the comments below. Press like and share. Thank you so much. Hey there, Virgo. This is a new moon in the house of you, which, you know, obviously is going to be very dynamic because the first house is the first house here related to your own identity, your personality, your vitality, your psychology, how you show up in the world, how you communicate and show up and show yourself to others. This first house. It's about your health as well. So perhaps at this new moon here, where the sun and the moon are in conjunction, conjoined together, blended together, all of these traits of Virgo, which are about improving and holistic health, you know, being conscientious, being health conscious, being organized. Maybe you're thinking about some big shifts and changes that are necessary for you to improve your own well-being in the future. And certainly some of these topics may come to fruition in a short-term period if you do have some new health regimes where you start a new diet perhaps, or new exercise regime, or you start some new practices such as spiritual meditation, anything holistic that really supports your own well-being. They may come to fruition around the first lunar eclipse here. 2 weeks later, after this new moon, the first lunar eclipse, I think at 25 degrees Pisces, in your house of shared relationships, personal relationships, or indeed longer term, it may be the 14th of March 2025 when you see some of these long-term benefits come from shifts and new beginnings in how you're looking after yourself and how you're facing the world. So Mercury, your ruler, has been retrograde back in Leo in this hidden house here. So there may have been a lot of deep reflections, really looking inward to your inner self, your higher self, your inner wealth, maybe recognizing your deep feelings that you hide away from others while you're in places of retreat or being alone, maybe working in your dreams and spiritual practices. And certainly when Mercury moves into the first house, that's going to give you extra impetus to plan and make, something a reality in this earthy, mutable sign, flexible, adaptable sign of Virgo here, especially after Mercury moves back into Virgo on the 9th of September and moves past the post-shadow period on the 11th of September. You should be able to move forward and implement some of these ideas. So yeah, I really hope that is helpful for you. And you're going to be, because you're one of the mutable signs of the zodiac, you're going to be having these eclipses soon happening over the next couple of years, happening across your first house axis about you, and your seventh house axis about your personal close relationships. If you're in relationship, that could be your marriage type partner, or it could be related to people that you serve in business. And sometimes it can be competitors and people like that, but it's about self and other. That's going to be happening for you over the next couple of years. But certainly we're still going to be having the Libra and Aries eclipses happening until the 25th of March. That's the last solar eclipse at 9 degrees Aries. So I hope that's helpful for you. Buckle up, and I hope you can make some good long-term plans for the future. Thank you. Hey there, Libra. This is your new moon not eclipse, new moon in Virgo, short interpretation. And as we can see, this new moon in Virgo is in this hidden house, which was known in ancient times as Saturn's joy, because here's the first house and we go anti-clockwise around right to the 12th house. And this is where we can see the sun and the moon at 11 degrees Virgo, 4 minutes. So there's something, Libra, about really having some deep reflective work on your inner self, your higher self. Maybe you're starting a new period of your life where things are really shifting and you really need to make sense of things in a deep way that's meaningful, because Virgo goes deep. Virgo likes to work in a service to others, and Virgo likes to discard the wheat from the chaff and just keep what's best. So you may be doing a lot of personal inner work, reflected on some deep spiritual practices, dream work, or incorporate something new into your life behind the scenes, which can help nourish you and help you work to achieve something to improve your life for the future. And certainly the eclipse, the first full moon eclipse in Pisces, excuse me, I'm drinking fizzy water, which isn't a great idea. That's all I've got handy. Yeah, sorry, where was I? The full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is about 25 degrees opposite this new moon. Well, it will be moved on from there by then, but that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks' time. And this is just highlighting the dynamic of that house of everyday work and duties and routines and rituals and mundane chores and self-sacrifice. So there's going to be these areas of your life are going to be activated. The house of Mars's joy and the house of Saturn's joy over the next couple of years. So weighing up what you can do, what's healthy for you, how you can manage that into your daily routines is going to be something that you'll have to navigate in the future. But you've still got the eclipses going across your 1st and 7th house of Aries and Libra until the 25th of March 2025, when there's a solar eclipse at 5 degrees Aries. That's the last one. So your ruler is Venus, and she's in Libra in your first house. So there's a sort of a sense of, you know, showing up in a beautiful, calm way, being easygoing, peace-loving. But there's also a sense with the conjunction to Ketu, the south node of the moon, letting go of something as well, surrendering part of yourself as well. So with Ketu there, it's about diminishment and release and trust and spiritual insight and achievement. So there, you know, Venus in this first house can help beautify you, how you show up in the world. You may take a little bit of time to improve your physicality, your appearance. You may have a haircut, I don't know, whatever else you might do, buy yourself something new to give you a certain image that gives you a beautiful glow as you show up in the world, because physical impressions can help us in how we interact with others. And Venus is in Libra. She is in the temple that she rules, and she is a goddess of love and beauty and refinement after all. So that may be happening for you here. And we've got this Pluto just moved into your house of home and family, the last anaretic degree. Pluto just moved in there yesterday on the 2nd of September, and will be here until I should know these off by heart, till the 19th of November. So tying up some ends, big shifts, big cathartic changes, tying up these ends around home and family. It's very, very powerful for you. And, you know, you've got a lot going on as far as responsibility as well, because Saturn is here in your 6th house as well, co-present with Neptune, and they're retrograde. So there's reflections on your everyday work and service to others. So I hope that's helpful for you, Libra. Thank you. Leave a comment below if any of that resonates. Thank you so much. So let's click it. Scorpio, welcome to your new moon in Virgo chart here. On the 3rd of September, we've got the moon and the sun at 11 degrees Virgo. 4 minutes in the 11th house here, which is known in ancient times as the joy of Jupiter. So this house can be related to a sense of your hopes and your wishes and your dreams and your long-term plans in Virgo. And so it can be quite discerning. You know, you're thinking about, you know, actually, what is it that I really want to achieve in the future on a practical level, breaking it down into small chunks, perhaps. This house is also about groups and network friendships, you know, community groups that you interact with. It can be your audience as well. And in ancient astrology, it was known to be the house of allies and benefactors. So you may be starting some new friendship groups here, or you may be starting a sense of something new in your sense of creating intentions to bring in what you want for the future, your long-term wishes. And it was maybe related to your career as a 2nd house from your career house if you're in that working sphere of your life. It could be something new. It could be about money, finances coming in the future. So if you are creating any long-term plans, certainly these may come to fruition by the full moon in Virgo, which is on the 14th of March 2025, 6 months later. So your ruler is Mars. Mars is in Gemini in the 8th house and is about to go into the 9th house of Cancer. So you've maybe had lots of ideas spinning around, you know, with Mars and Jupiter in Gemini here, lots and lots of ideas, lots of communications, lots of journeys fired right up with this Mars energy who's busy and active in Gemini. Sometimes mentally exhausting because there's so many different ideas and journeys going on, and that's in the house of the esteem of others or shared joint partnerships. So there's something about intimacy and sharing and lots of ideas there that's been stimulated. But when Mars moves into Cancer, that's going to be in full because Mars is in exaltation in the opposite sign of Capricorn, and Cancer's opposite. So there could be some heightened emotions and feelings and sensitivities, but it's also your house of the higher mind and your belief systems. So while Mars is in Cancer, you know, you may be feeling quite sensitive, you may be reviewing some ideas, you may be feeling like protecting yourself a bit more. Yeah, it might be to do with solar figures that have an impact on you, which can be a bit difficult to take from maybe those in authority, and you may be quite protective and mother bear energy, like, you know, feeling quite self-protective perhaps as well. It depends how that would manifest for you. And Pluto has just dipped back into your third house of Capricorn, tying up topics around communications and short journeys and how you interact with others. Pluto will be here until the 19th of November, and then he will shift into your fourth house of home and family in Aquarius, where he'll stay for the next 20 years. So there's going to be some really big shifts around your home environment and family in the future. So I hope that's helpful for you. Scorpio, thank you for listening. Like and share, leave a comment below if you're able to. Hi there, Sagittarius. This is your new moon in Virgo. Short interpretation where we can see that the sun and the moon are at 11 degrees Virgo in the very top of your chart. This is the house of social status, praxis, work, vocations, what you're seen to be doing publicly, your public reputation. And you are one of the mutable signs of the zodiac. So you will be having these eclipses that are starting in 2 weeks' time. I think it's the 25 degrees Pisces full moon lunar eclipse in 2 weeks following this new moon in Virgo, which is activating topics around your home and family, your roots, your property, your family lineage, all of those things. Also, you know, co-present with the responsible Saturn, the taskmaster, the reality checker, and the compassionate and giving Neptune there. So you are going to be feeling these eclipses happening quite intensely. And you've also got this new moon in your house of social status and career. So there could be something new that you're able to implement and start off that is related to your work life and intentions that you may have to bring to fruition using your own skills and sense of service to others. And these may come to fruition by the 14th of March, 2025, when we have a full moon in Virgo. So it could be quite an exciting time for you. You may be analyzing things around your work life if you are in that sphere of your life. You know, thinking about actually, you know, what is it that I want to keep? What is it that I would like to develop? What can I get rid of? You know, because it's that analytical, critical, conscientious, organized energy of Virgo, stripping away what you don't need. How can you improve what you do need to enhance what you would like to achieve in the future? Question mark. And your ruler is in your 7th house of Gemini, where he's been co-present. Jupiter's been co-present with Mars, firing up lots of things. Could be about your partner as well. Sometimes it's not always about yourself, or it could be about your clientele. If you serve others and have a sense of what you offer to others. So, you know, there's been lots of energies going on here over the last wee while. And Mars is about to lose dignity, moving into fall, into the 8th house of Cancer. So this is the house of intimate relationships, shared resources, karmic debt. It can be about money that comes in from others that holds you in high esteem as well. But, you know, there can be a sense of heightened emotions and sensitivity because Cancer is a very caring, emotional sign, hiding the feelings behind the tough shell. But Mars is the warrior, so it fires all of these feelings up and, you know, wants to protect. And, you know, so there's some potential volatility or deep sensitivity coming when Mars comes into that house of Cancer. So see how that manifests for you and let me know in the comments below. You've certainly got Saturn here in your house of home and family. And you've got Neptune here as well, the tide going back, retrograde, maybe revealing some topics that have been really cloudy and unknown. And, you know, Pluto has just gone back into your second house of your personal skills and resources and finances, helping you tie up and recognize your power, working through your shadows, maybe self-doubt before he moves back into Aquarius on the 20th of November, and he'll stay in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So lots to think about there, Sagittarius. Thank you for listening. Leave a comment below if any of that resonates with you, or press the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much. Hey there, Capricorn. This new moon in Virgo is happening in your 9th house up here at 11 degrees 4 minutes. So 9th house is the house of God. It's related to our belief systems. It's about topics of the higher mind, what helps us expand our knowledge. So that could be through philosophy, through religion, through spirituality, through studies, higher mind studies, further education, travels abroad, other cultures. All of these things are possible. So this could be a time for you to start a new project related to either health or study or improving your skills in those areas that I've just mentioned there. Virgo is very meticulous and productive and analytical and intelligent and wants to be of service. So there could be some ideas of things that you would like to develop that may come to fruition by the full moon in Virgo, which is on the 14th of March 2025. And certainly there will be the first lunar eclipse in Pisces across this axis here in 2 weeks' time. That will be the first full moon lunar eclipse in a wide conjunction to Neptune. So these areas of the house of goddess, this third house of Pisces, and the house of God are going to be in this sort of polarity, requiring to find some sense of balance and fulcrum point there over the next couple of years. But at this time, you've still got the axes of your 4th house of home and family and your 10th house of work life or social status and activity in the outside world. Those axes are still being activated until the 25th of March 2025, when there's the last solar eclipse at 9 degrees Aries. So that's actually just after the full moon in Virgo. So for you, there's lots been going on there. And certainly now Pluto's just dipped back into your 1st house, Capricorns. There is some intense work that you may be given the opportunity to work through over the next couple of months, because Pluto's just moved back into your 1st house of Capricorn for the last time in 248 years. So it's the last opportunity from the 2nd of September until the 19th of November for you to really work through any issues around your own sense of power, control issues, what lies beneath that's been suppressed that really needs to be purged out, and the sense of release and healing and purification so that you can start again and with a sense of renewal and rebirth. And when Pluto shifts back into Aquarius, that's about your own skills and your abilities and your finances and what you can share and do for the future. So that's a really big energy for you going on there. And your ruler is Saturn, co-present with Neptune, both retrograde in your 3rd house of communications. So Saturn is now halfway through Pisces, and he's given you some reality checks around your responsibilities in and around your home environment, in your neighborhood, you know, what you can do, maybe related to siblings, what you need to say no to, what's healthy for you, what responsibilities can you take on. You know, with Neptune there at the anaretic degree, there's a tendency to want to do so much for other people, but Saturn is the old man of the zodiac, and he says, wait a minute, you know, what is possible? You know, everybody has their limits, and as a Capricorn, you take your responsibilities seriously. So it's recognizing what you're able to do there. And Mars is just about, it's been firing up your Jupiter and Mars conjunction. Mars is at the almost anaretic degree of Gemini. you know, that's your everyday life, your work. So perhaps you've had some opportunities here to expand your horizons with lots of different ideas, because Gemini is the air, the mind, communications. But Mars is just about to move into fall in Cancer in your 7th house of relationships. So just watch out for that, because that could be quite a volatile, emotional time with those that are close and personal to you. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and we all can be responsible for how we choose to respond to triggers. So I hope that's helpful, Capricorn. Thank you for listening. Hey there, Aquarius. This is your new moon in Virgo. Short interpretation. So as we can see, we've got this new moon, the sun and the moon are conjunct at 11 degrees Virgo, 4 minutes, and this is in your 8th house of Virgo. So the 8th house is many things. It can be around topics of mysteries in life. It could be related to the occult, topics of taboo nature like sex and death, intimacy. It can be about shared resources, what you do in joint relationship with others, topics that you work in partnership with. And it's also in ancient astrology, the house known to be the esteem of others. So there is a sense of something new that's potentially able to begin at this time, maybe using your analytical ideas or sense of service or perfectionism, or your particular skills that you have that you can work with in partnership with others. And this may be recognized and come to fruition at the full moon in Virgo, which is on the 14th of March 2025. But Virgo is an earth sign. It's adaptable, it's mutable earth, and it's a yin sign. So there is a sense of receptivity to others' ideas as well. So there's something here that is in the ethers, and you could think about what you may like to grow in soils that are still, you know, dark, and the dark moon. But as the crescent moon builds, you maybe can come across some ideas that you can put into implement for the future, because certainly your ruler, not your ruler, because your ruler is Saturn, but Mercury, the ruler of this lunation, has been retrograde in your house of relationships, personal relationships, and will be moving into this 8th house here in Virgo. So having more strength after moving back in on the 9th of September, and then certainly after the 11th of September, that's when Mercury moves past the post-shadow period. So you can put these plans and move forward with these ideas that you may be able to implement to bring to some sense of reality. So your ruler is at Saturn. Saturn is retrograde here at 16 degrees Pisces, co-present with Neptune, moving slowly through this house here for 2.5, 3 years, halfway through, still retrograde, so reflecting upon topics around your own sense of security, your ability with your own finances, and using your skills and what makes you feel safe. And also Pluto has just shifted right back into your 12th house, giving you this opportunity just to tie up some ends around your own subconscious needs and your inner spiritual self. There's some deep potential work where you can use the next couple of months up until the 19th of November to really work through any suppressed, darker parts of your shadow self, which is in the 12th house now. You've had Pluto go through the 12th house of Capricorn for about 15 years, and he's just dipped his toe back in, and you've just got a couple of months here just to face and purge out in a way that can really lighten your load by facing truths that maybe have been suppressed. And then on the 20th of November, Pluto moves back into Aquarius for 20 years. This is the house of you being in control at the helm of the ship, using your own sense of knowing yourself, knowing your own power, knowing your strength, and how you can show up in the world. So you're going through quite a few big shifts there. And you've got Jupiter here in your 5th house of Venus's joy, where Mars has been firing up lots of ideas around your creativity, ideas, pleasures, perhaps romance, or related to topics of entrepreneurship, or maybe to do with children. But Mars will be moving into fall, into Cancer, which is your 6th house of everyday life, work, routines, and can be related to your health. So just watch out for any inflammations to your own health when Mars goes through Cancer. Mars usually spends just a couple of weeks in each sign, and there's going to be some retrogradation coming back into Cancer. Actually, there's going to be Mars going into Leo and then retrograding back into Cancer. So certainly your 6th house of everyday life, work and service and health are going to be activated, and then your relationship house is also going to be activated. Contact me if you'd like a personal reading, then we could look more into that and look at your personal natal planets. So I hope that's helpful for you, Aquarius, and thank you for listening. Hey there, Pisces. I always call you patient Pisces. I doubt if you listen to the whole thing, but if you do, well done, and thank you for waiting, because you're the last sign of the zodiac, and you are one of the mutable signs. And this new moon is in your house of personal, close relationships at 11 degrees. I'm just trying to get my arrow. The sun and the moon are conjoined at 11 degrees Virgo, 4 minutes in your 7th house of Virgo here, which is really about really intimate, close relationships. So there could be a sense of something new beginning, either within a relationship that's ongoing, some new start, some new seeds of change, or it could imply that there's potential for you, Pisces, to start a new relationship, either of a romantic nature or maybe in business or with new clients if you work in service to others. So that can be quite exciting for you. And these ideas that you may have, you'll be able to implement them more when Mercury moves into Virgo on the 9th of September, because Mercury's been retrograde, going back into your house of everyday life, work and service, you know, reflecting upon your own creative abilities, maybe leadership skills, your own unique things. But when Mercury moves into Virgo, the domicile, the temple that he rules, 9th of September, after the 11th of September, you may be able to move forward with any ideas that may be brewing, simmering away on the back burner at this time. And Jupiter is your ruler, and Jupiter is here in your 4th house of home and family, has been fired up with lots of ideas with Mars there, maybe a bit of volatility with just too many ideas, and maybe lots of discussions or potential clashing with arguments with Mars in Gemini there. That's been happening for some time. Mars moves quickly through the signs, and Mars will now be moving soon into Cancer, where Mars is in fall. So, you know, you have to work hard here. This is the house of your pleasures, your relationships, love, romance, children, creativity, and entrepreneurship. So there's a sense of high emotional expression with Mars in this very sensitive, caring, compassionate, nurturing sign of the zodiac. So just be aware that emotions may run high in these relationships of Venus's joy, especially if you've got any planets in that area of your life in Cancer. What else have we got to say? Yeah, you're one of the mutable signs of the zodiac. So when we have this full moon in Pisces, this is going to be activating, well, Neptune in Pisces by a wide orb. I think it's at 25 degrees Pisces. 2 weeks after this new moon, there's going to be a full moon in Pisces, lunar eclipse, and this is going to be happening for the next 2 years across your 1st house of self-expression, how you show up in the world, and then across that axis with your personal and close relationships. So that will be ongoing, but we're still in the Libra and Aries axes for you at the moment, which is about your own sense of skills, resources, abilities, and finances, and those with others' shared resources. So these are still ongoing at the moment, and you've still got Saturn here moving through, still retrograde in your 1st house, bringing a sense of reality check to how you show up in the world, what responsibilities you can take on, you know, how to balance that with the compassion that Neptune in Pisces at the anaretic degree is wanting to express, but Neptune's going back, the tide's going out. Call out to Laurie Lothian, describing how Neptune is like the tide regressing, revealing things on the shore here. So, you know, you've got quite a lot of heavy duty work, sense of responsibility, how you show up in the world, whether it's a burden or whether you're stepping into mastery and wisdom and learning to say no. And with this new moon in your shared house of partnerships and relationships, Pisces, lots going on there for you. So yeah, and Venus is in the temple that she rules in the house of joint finances, and conjunct with Ketu, the south node of the moon. So there's a sense of letting go and trusting and releasing and surrendering something. So if you're in relationship with other, maybe you're trusting your partner to take the reins with those sort of things. So I think that's about all I've got to say. I'm trying to keep this shorter. So thank you so much for listening. As I said before, let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be happy with what we're able to do, and without setting ourselves too high a bar, which can then make us feel like we're never achieving enough. And also, you know, be less critical of others as well as ourselves, and plant seeds that can be beneficial for the future, for ourselves, our family, our friends, our community, and sending out that web across the world to benefit all beings. So thank you for listening. Again, get in touch if you'd like a private reading. See below, and you can look at my client testimonials, and sending you blessed new moon in Virgo wishes. Thank you. Bye for now.